Whenever we start talking about PTE Describe Image, there are so many questions that you have. Are the old templates still working for Describe Image? Are the templates completely banned from the PTE exam? I just need one template. Please don't give me so many template versions. Can I still use old template for some questions and new template for some questions? Can I please use one keyword template for at least one of the questions? I just can't change the strategy. All such questions are being floating around on the YouTube comments and social media. This video is going to answer each of them precisely with elaboration and examples. Watch it till the end. Hey everyone, this is Anurag here from Edutrainex PTE. I hope you all are doing great. In this particular video, we'll talk about first the PT doctors. Please don't go to a PT doctor who is going to prescribe you a different version of template for different type of questions. That becomes very painful process to manage because you have to memorize so many templates. You just saw the clip that I made in one of my previous videos. Really funny. So learn about the real reasons why the old templates have completely stopped working and why Pearson has taken this answer. All the questions that were raised just before will be answered in this question. If you need to solve the questions, more practice, you can become our YouTube priority member where you get access to unlimited prediction files, which are mainly the repeated questions that are coming in the exam. Make sure you practice them before you go to the exam. And if you're looking for paid assistance, you know what to do. WhatsApp us for our unlimited classes where we will help you until you succeed. So like and subscribe and let's begin the mystery about Describe Image. Well, the appearance and the type of question for Describe Image has not changed in the exam at all. The same way you were getting the questions before is also the same way that you are getting it in the exam right now. So you get 25 seconds to prepare and then you have 40 seconds to respond. Okay, there is a timer over here. You all should know, if you don't know about it, the 3-second rule. Please don't pause or stop thinking about the answer for the first 3 seconds and then try to speak. What is going to happen? The microphone is cut off and your response is not recorded at all. So please remember the 3-second rule. Anywhere you stop for 3 seconds while speaking, the microphone will be cut off. So coming back to the layout of the question, this is how the question is given to you. 25 seconds. There may be some words in it. There may not be some words. In and all, 5 points for fluency, 5 points for pronunciation, 5 points for content. That has not changed at all. The same criteria which the Pearson had specified a long time back, and it is still the same. The only thing that has changed recently, last year, end of last year, the changes happened is the criteria of checking the quality of content that you are speaking, and they still have not mastered the techniques of the AI being able to check that. So that's why they have involved another step which is called as the manual check. So if they suspect that your answer is using some pre-memorized template or one word keyword templates, or you're not speaking enough, less than 25 seconds or 20 seconds, not more than 30 seconds, then it is going to a manual check. And what we have observed is, like, even if you are speaking for 25 seconds and even if you are speaking good answers, they are going to give you a 0 for everything. Fluency 0, pronunciation 0, and content, because they believe the AI's flagging is actually true. So I will cover what exactly you need to do shortly. But in the meantime, the scoring criteria, the evaluation technique still remains the same. The only part that has improved over here is the manual check. I will not say it has improved, but came in between is the manual intervention. Okay, so now let's see what are the AIs and the manual checks. So the simple mathematics over here is, if you are speaking for less than 30 seconds, the AI is going to flag your response for a manual check. And as I told you just now, the manual checkers, the human evaluators, don't have that much time to check thousands and millions of responses that people are attempting every single day. Okay, there are so many responses, and they just take a very superficial look, which is high level look. If they see there is a pattern of any kind, they will just mark it no, not accepted, and straight away the AI is going to record the marks as for that particular question as 0, 0, 0 for fluency, pronunciation, and content. So everything goes down. If you get flagged for a manual check, the main aim over here is to avoid the manual check at any cost. So criteria number 1, very, very important, is you have to speak for 30 seconds and don't try to hurry here. Speak normally, and then you have to cover enough content and sentences so that you can speak for 30 seconds about the image. So you should not be speaking something like that. I'm looking at an image which is very beautiful and I'm going to speak for 40 seconds. These kind of templates you have to avoid. I will shortly show you what kind of templates we are referring to, which is referred to as the old way of solving Describe Image. Once upon a time, these templates were working perfectly fine. People were getting 79 plus score. Absolutely, my students as well, they have got 79, especially using the top template. Okay, so this is pre-memorized template or single keyword template or clustered keyword templates. What they are is, I can see this, I can see this. You are just putting keywords without trying to link them. Sometimes you just observe colors and then you speak about that. You're not linking it with anyone. I can see blue, green, and black. I can see red, brown, and yellow. So you were speaking like that, and that was working perfectly fine. And these are considered to be old templates. So whatever trainers or whatever people you are following, if they are suggesting you these kind of templates, then don't follow it. Just tell them clearly that these have stopped working. Please stop playing with our lives, our money. Okay. So yeah, see again, you see over here clustered keywords. Okay, only keywords are in one particular sentence. The remaining thing is completely memorized. You just memorized and you just go and vomit there. Not literally vomit, but figuratively. Okay, so please avoid these kind of templates. I trained Pappu very well, one of my students who have been giving the exams forever. Okay, let's listen to his response.
The given image is a very beautiful image and I'm going to speak about it for 40 seconds. I can see many things in this, such as complex things as maximum or minimum, and I can see the blue color and I can see the red color and I can see the black color. In total, the image is very beautiful information, and then I am going to speak that much. Thank you.
कैसे कैसे लोग रहते हैं यार यहाँ पर.
Okay, let's forget about Pappu. Don't make this kind of same mistake in your exam. Okay, you have to learn. What you have to learn is, are the templates really banned? That is the second question that we are going to answer here. Very, very popular question. Are the templates really banned from the PTE exam? Is it actually true? So the good news here is that no, the templates have not been completely banned. Our students are still using the structure based template, which is part template and part is your response. And they are able to get 79 plus scores. We have checked it ourselves. We have checked with the students. Everyone is able to get that. That's why we are sharing with you, not just assumed knowledge, we are sharing with you is the tested knowledge. But the way you use the templates have changed. Yes, that is also true. This news is not very new now. The templates, the older templates I just showed you, they are not working. And the reason for that is the approach that you are taking to speak. You're not speaking in a natural way. You're just using the words around, you're blabbering it out. But the new template or the new technique, what it suggests is that use a structure that gives you a proper response. Now, in the PTE exam, we need 3 types in the structure. I have always been telling you 3 contents or 3 categories, 3 sections in your content. First one is introduction. There should always be an introduction in your responses, be it describe image, retell lecture, or whatever. And then comes the body. Body can be a couple of sentences in this case in describe image. And the last one should always be a conclusion or a summary or a prediction. Whatever you feel about the image. We'll do some practice questions soon, but you have to understand that I must follow this kind of template or any kind of template structure which is giving me these sections in them. Okay, so that my response is treated as a high quality by the Pearson AI. That's the trick. Before I show you the actual template that keeps working in the exam, that has always been working, we'll discuss and address the other questions as well. Now, the other question related to the describe image question was, sir, can we use old templates for some of the questions and new template for some of the questions? Well, what do you think the answer is? Let me demonstrate what I mean here. If I use a template and describe this particular image with just like this, I can see a beautiful image and I'm going to talk about it for 40 seconds. I can see the maximum and minimum and many complex things in the graph. I can see the colors orange, blue, brown, yellow, green. Overall, I have spoken for 40 seconds. I'm not going to speak more. Thank you very much. This is the kind of template that follows the older techniques. Now, before I give the verdict, let's do it in a proper way. Let's try to do this in a proper structure manner. Okay, I'm not going to use a 100% memorized template, but I'm going to use a structure. The bar graph. Okay, this is a bar graph. The bar graph represents sightings of dolphins and whales in the bay for year 2017 to 2010. The dolphin population have been increasing gradually, whereas the whale population has been decreasing first and then increasing again. I observed one trend. So you can talk about any number of trends and you don't need to use precise numbers. Absolutely not. So I can say as the next sentence, moreover, linking word, transition word, use them. Moreover, the whale population in year 2020 is roughly around 700, whereas the whale population in 2017 is 200. So just speak fluently. Even if you are not factually correct, you will get the points for fluency, for content, and for pronunciation. And lastly, when you see that the timer is close to 30 seconds or exceeded 30 seconds, then jump to conclusion. Just make some prediction. Overall, if we don't save the environment, whales and dolphins may get extinct. I can just make a prediction about something. Okay, what I see. Or you can just say, overall, the sightings of dolphins and whales seems to be improving, which is a good sign for the environment. Something like that. Just make a conclusion which was relevant, which had keywords related to the image, and voila. Okay, so the final verdict is this particular response that I gave using the old score will give me a 0 score, whereas this particular response which I gave using the new technique with full fluency and pronunciation, 15 out of 15, 5 for each of them. Now see, some people ask me about this question, can I still continue to use the old ways because right now I don't have time and memory to memorize the new ones? Well, guys, I can't change the exam for you. I can just provide you guidance, what is working in the exam, what is not working. If you still insist on using the techniques which have been proved already in the exam that they are not working, then you are completely making a suicide attempt. Okay, so that's on you, not on us. So stop asking those sort of questions and then try to adapt to the new techniques. You may be a little unlucky if you are very close to the exam when these changes happen, but now it's already so much time. But now you should definitely turn towards the new approach and don't be dependent on the older approach in any way. Okay, now the next question is also very interesting. Sir, can I use one template for all? Or shall I use different versions of templates for bar graph, line graph, and then normal image or a processed flow? I'm totally confused. And this is a very good question because people have been selling you those kind of template versions like the PT Doctor I showed you before. Template version 1.2 for this type of image, 1.1 for this type of image. How many templates are you going to remember, man? Not at all required. You just need to improvise a little bit. Okay, if you know the type of image, you say here the bar graph, the image, the picture. If you don't know the type of image, just say the picture. Okay, the picture represents title. Many of the times there are title on the screen. Say it. If it is a bar graph or any graph that has x and y axis, then you put that information. X axis for x axis and whatever is the title of the y axis. If the image does not have x and y axis, then what you need to do is just ignore this particular part. Try to make the title a little bit longer. That's it. The template is changed and you don't need to remember another template, another sentence for every sentence, for every question that you are attempting in the exam. Absolutely not required. So please don't spend too much time on memorizing 10 different templates for 10 different types of images, because yes, that are the number of image types that appear in the exam. 10 types, 10 different types. Table, Venn diagram, map, bar graph, line graph, pie graph. How many you can remember? Don't go with that. Now the remaining part of the template is pretty simple. It is giving you some structure. There is a clear indication that you have to start observing some trends or features. Just the same way we did it for you in the previous screen when I showed you the bar graph and demonstrated how you observe the trend and speak about it. We are going to do some more practice questions. Again, I picked these questions directly from the prediction files, which are the most repeated, most recent questions that are appearing in the PT exam. You can also have access to it. All you need to do is become our YouTube priority member and you will get access to them. Very important before you go to the exam. So any trend you observe, you have to speak about it. Any other trend, something is maximum, something is minimum, something is in the middle, and don't worry too much about the numbers. Okay, we just need to keep it relevant. We just don't need to keep it accurate. Okay, that's something I must tell you. There is no points for grammar that is deducted if you make grammar mistakes, and there is no points for 100% accuracy whereas 50% accuracy. I can say something, I can interpret it something else or something wrongly, but I still speak relevant to the image fluently in full pronunciation. There is no one who can stop me from getting a full score in that question. You can do the same. People are already doing the same. I'm not making this out of something thin air. Okay, so continue using that key phrase. Use phrases, and when we say phrases, minimum you have to make it a phrase of 5 to 6 words long. Okay, the later part of the template you see only shorter structure based sentences which is asking you to provide more. The first part has more wordings in the template. Why? Because it is giving you a little momentum or little push to become more fluent. And when you become fluent while speaking, then for the later part of the sentences you make your own phrases. That's the practice you need to do. If right from the beginning I give you independent phrases, open phrases that you need to make, you may fumble, you may hesitate, you may lose course. So that's why this structure has been delicately designed in that particular manner to help you and support you achieve a top score. Right? Just observe, and in the conclusion, as I said, make a phrase, make a conclusion, make a prediction, make a summary, or even if you are saying the same title, try to say it in a different manner or different words or paraphrase it. That's it. Answer complete. Okay, so now is the time to do some demo questions, not just demo. I have put some complex images, different type of images that appear in the exam, and you can check the prediction file. These images will be there. So what do I see here? You have to observe in this type of images which are complex, there are no wordings, you have to generate your own vocabulary. Okay, that's the only solution. But don't just add, I can see this, please. Just make some sentences. This looks like a classroom, right? What do people do in classroom? They study. Who is there in the classroom? Students and teachers are there. What resources do we have in the classroom? Books are there, maps are there, light bulbs, electricity, windows are there. What do you see on the tables? Pencils are there, books are there. So whatever you need in a class, just imagine I am in the class, or whenever I go to a class, how do I study? So just use those words and generate vocabulary to come up with the words. So if I'm reading the title or if I'm reading the introduction using the template that we discussed, so I can say the image represents an empty classroom where students study in a school. That could be my introduction. There is a clear indication that teacher sits right in the front of the class, whereas the students sit on the opposite side. Similarly, the image also supports several educational resources such as books, maps, tables, and chairs. It highlights every table has notebooks, pen, and pencil that the students can use. However, it indicates that this looks like a lower grade classroom because there are smaller tables and smaller chairs. Finally, this is an ideal structure of classroom where students can come to the school and study very well. That's it. Any type of image, difficult or whatever. I followed the same structure, and see how I just generated some phrases. Even if I say something grammatically wrong, don't stop, don't hesitate. Whatever comes out of your mind, just keep it relevant. Imagine that you are here in front of the image, imagining something, and just speak whatever you see in your mind. Visualize it. Okay, that's the best technique you can follow for this type of complex images. Let's look at the next one. What is this one? Yeah, you can see our brand logo there. It has been picked up from our prediction file. Okay, so it is a bar graph. Okay, a horizontal bar graph, but still a bar graph. It has a title, it has the categories x-axis and y-axis, percentage of adults. So this time I can say a bar graph represents something, and then I'm going to read the title. Okay, so the first sentence will be the bar graph represents popularity of cultural websites in Scotland in the year 2013. Okay, now you can't, if you are unable to say the year 2013, just say in 2013, or just read the title, websites in Scotland 2013, and then you have to add the x-axis or y-axis. See, if it is already a longer phrase, you don't necessarily need to, but if you want to add, I can say the bar graph represents the popularity of cultural websites in Scotland for year 23 in terms of percentage of adults for various different categories, because there is no name given for The y-axis, what are these? I can just say various types of things or various categories of things just to improve it. So perfect introduction, right? Very long one, and then I covered everything that was discussed here. Now what shall I say? Observe the trends. Bar graph, very easy. Observe the one which is maximum, speak about it. Observe the one which is minimum, speak about it. Find the ones which are in the middle, speak about them, and then just summarize the odd ones in some other sentence. So if I'm attempting it, I will say there is a clear indication that none of this option is the largest at around 55%. Now I'm not very precise in numbers, I'm just saying around. Next one, I can say similarly the image also supports archive or record websites are lowest at 10%. Moreover, it highlights the theater and concert websites are enjoyed by around 30% of adults. The next sentence will be, however, it indicates that the museum gallery websites and historical and heritage websites are at moderate levels. Same thing. Finally, what do you see? I'll just make a prediction or a conclusion, right? Same thing. What are people enjoying? People don't seem to enjoy the traditional cultural websites. None of these is the highest. So I'm just going to summarize that. I'll say, finally, people seem to enjoy the other categories which are not related to the traditional art or historical forms. Something like that. Okay. You just follow the way I'm presenting to you. You don't have to go word by word, just the way Anurag sir spoke. Sometimes I may say something, the other times I may say something else. I can say finally, the none of these category which may include other things are very popular. People don't seem to enjoy the traditional categories. That's it. You can say something like that as well. Just be fluent, whatever you say. Okay, there is no right or wrong answer here, but keep it relevant. Use the keywords that are present in the image. If there is no image, keywords you have to generate like we did for the previous question. Let's look at another question. Another difficult type of question that you get in the exam. Maps. Very less wordings and very less things to talk about. How do we still talk about that for 30 to 35 seconds? How do we do it? So the clue over here is use the 25 seconds to study. What is it talking about? Bird migration routes. The range is given here. The migration seasons are given here. Spring and fall. North America, South America. Arrows are given here. Yellow is for spring season where they migrate. Green is for fall season where they migrate from. I can see they are mainly focused on the northern part of the continent. So I have enough content now. Okay, now I'm just going to talk about it, and maybe in the last sentence I will use these as well. So what is it? This is a map. So I'm going to put it here. The map represents what is the title. Title is over here, bird migration routes, and then I observe two continents here, North America and South America, so I can use that in my introduction to make it a perfect one. And then maybe I can talk about different seasons as well. So I will say the map represents the bird migration route between North and South America for different seasons. That becomes my introduction. Very well said. Perfect. Okay, making sense as well. All relevant words. No need to worry about grammatical mistakes. Just open your heart and speak your heart. The next one, what am I going to talk about? Okay, the next sentence, there is a clear indication that the birds like to migrate only in the northern parts of North America as well as South America. This is one observation I made. And then the next sentence will be, similarly, the image also supports birds migrate to North America in the spring season, whereas they migrate to South America in the fall season. This is something I observed over here. Okay, now I told you that these couple of points I'm also going to use it in some sentence. So I still have two of them remaining. If I've already spoken one of the sentence long talking about both the continents, then look at the timer. If it is already close to 30 seconds, then I have to skip one sentence. I still don't need to utilize the full sentence, because what will happen by the time you reach the final sentence, the timer will be very close to 40 seconds, and by the time you read it out, either you speak it very fast, that will again hamper your pronunciation and fluency scores, or you get cut in half as soon as the 40 seconds finish. So if you are speaking longer sentences in any of the phrases, you have to improvise right at the time. Keep looking at the timer and then make a decision then and there. Okay, split second decisions are required, but practice is essential. Just keep practicing using a timer and see how many sentences you speak. Some people speak longer, even longer phrases, then they require lesser sentence, because we have to still finish within 40 seconds, right? So you might have noticed I spoke one of the second sentences longer. So I'm going to skip one of the sentences, which is this one. I'll jump to however. So I can say, however, it indicates that the breeding range is mostly situated in the northern part of North America. Okay, another phrase, another observation. Now, final phrase, you can just make a conclusion out of these words, just summarize something, whatever comes to your mind. So finally, I'm just going to use these particular areas. So I can say, finally, the wintering and year-round seasons or breeding processes are dispersed or scattered over both the North and South American continents. Something like that. If that feels difficult to you, you can say something else. You can say, finally, the birds are migrating according to the season, and that is good for the environment. That's it. That can also be a good conclusion. Okay. As I said, no marks are judged for higher quality of content versus lower quality of content. I keep it relevant, I get the full score. That's the main style or approach you have to follow for the PT exam. Describe image. Okay, just focus on the way I was speaking to you. Absolutely perfect pronunciation, perfect fluency, and perfect content as well. So content wise, you don't have to worry too much about being precise or accurate. Grammar mistakes not at all needed. Just summarize what you learned in this particular video. I can guarantee if you speak the way I am speaking, okay, the way you are using the content, you will definitely get 79 plus score. I can write it down and give it to you. Okay, you can see many comments on our YouTube channels thanking us. They have already got much more than they have expected. See one of the comments. Okay, and if you need unlimited questions for practice, the real exam questions that are coming in this particular month, just join our YouTube member and you will get unlimited access to them. For practice yourself, you can download it and you can practice it by your own. And if you have not seen the video that we made sharing a recent success story of a student who jumped from 63 to 85 in roughly 3 weeks for speaking scores. This is also related to speaking, so this is must watch for you. And if you are looking for paid assistance, you can just WhatsApp, where we can provide you unlimited classes until you succeed at only one cost. Keep watching Edutrainex, and I'll soon be back with another funny and interesting video related to PT topics. See you soon.